Frisco is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Academy, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. You are looking at MetLife Stadium. It's a sunny day in that picture, but I bet it is cold and cloudy up there today. Welcome into Cowboys Pregame Live. I'm Lindsay Draper, joined by Brian Broaddus. We will have Taylor Stern in a moment. You see these flurries behind us. We're trying to feel like winter down here, but Brian, I know it's cold up there. Let's talk a little bit about this game. We got a lot of playoff talk coming up, but this game, bad weather, guys not playing. Expect a lot of ground game today, right?
Yeah.
Will it be interesting at all?
No, it will be interesting from the aspect, though, of when you're talking about backup guys getting involved. And, you want to try and finish strong if you're the Cowboys defensively. And they'll have their hands full today with Saquon Barkley, though, the very talented young running back from the New York Giants. He will test this Dallas Cowboys defense. They had problems last time out against the Indianapolis Colts of defending the run, a little bit better against Tampa Bay, but this guy will be a whole different cat for them to have to deal with.
All right, let's say it's 11:01 a.m. Central if the playoffs started right now, where the Cowboys would be, Brian. Let's talk about it. We know it's most likely going to be the Seahawks. Here is your look. How are you feeling as this gets closer and closer to playoffs?
Well, you kind of had an idea that it was going to be the Seahawks the way that they were playing and then the way they were able to go and defeat Kansas City at home the other night. So, yeah, the Cowboys have an understanding. There is still a chance for the Vikings to go in, but that's if the Seahawks were to lose, and, there's all kinds of things going on there. So, yeah, the Cowboys, I think, when they fly home tonight, they'll be preparing for the Seahawks. They'll have game preparation already done. The coaches will go right into that mode. So they always, on the pro personnel side of it, stay ahead by a week, and so that's what they're going to do.
All right, guys, we tell you every single week, use the hashtag Dallas Cowboys Pregame to get on the show because Taylor Stern is taking all of your questions. And give us an update, Tay, as we get started here.
Yes, get your questions in. Brian Broaddus will be answering all of them. I think we had some great ones last week. Let's one-up it this week. But, guys, D-Law, who we will see today, he said this photo today earlier, start fast, finish strong. That's his mindset. You guys know the whole talk in the locker room has been, hey, we're still playing Week 17. We're not just jumping straight to the playoffs. So I'm curious to see, the fans want to get to the playoffs. They don't want to see today. They want to wrap it up. But these players still know the importance of this week. And, Brian, for a guy that's playing on the franchise tag, he wants to wrap it up in double digits.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the thing when you talk about, this is a scary time, though, guys, for personnel men. Because this game is, it doesn't mean anything. And then you're thinking about guys like Lawrence and Dak Prescott and guys like that are going to play this game. Amari Cooper, Byron Jones. I mean, there's a lot of guys. You only have 46 spots, and everybody's going to have to play. This isn't like a preseason game. So that's the problem. Jason Garrett, yes, he talks about going out and wanting to win this football game. But at what cost do you want to win this football game? We'll get into the inactives today, and I think that'll tell you really where the mindset of this team is right now.
And before we take our first break, Brian, we're in Week 17 here. We've gotten to the end of the season. Playoffs are in sight for the Cowboys, and it was a rough season. But let's go back to training camp. This team was the third youngest team in the league. They lost a ton of weapons in the offseason. Do you deem this as a success that they made it to the playoffs, or do they have to get past that first round? Or you all Lombardi Trophy or nothing? Yeah. Tell me your thoughts on that.
You always want to go Lombardi Trophy or nothing.
Right.
That's kind of the mindset. Once you get into the tournament, though, that's the key, though. There's some teams that will be going home. And that's, and that's the unfortunate part of sports is that you have those that move on. And, yes, you're one of the teams that's going to move on. I'll tell you where I misevaluated this team, though, Lynn's, going forward. I thought that they could hang their hat on this offensive line, and I wasn't so sure about what they were going to be able to do defensively. And that's really been the flip for me, is this defense has been outstanding. The offensive line has been inconsistent. And I think that's been the biggest issue for this football team. The reason why you had some of the 3 and 5 and then having to turn things around. It took a trade and some maneuvering of coaching staff to be able to get to this point. But you are here, though. But, boy, it is a totally different team than I envisioned what it was going to be coming out of Oxnard.
All right, guys, we're just getting started here on Pregame Live. When we come back, we will give you those inactives, and there might be a few surprises. That's next.
Great questions already, Brian, and we have our favorite, John Nelson, all the way from London, England. You see it, Wallasey, England, the location. How do you see the Cowboys covering Eric Ingram? I know it's spelled with the I, but that's what he means today. Is it Byron shadowing or a mix of linebacker and Byron?
Yeah, I think, John, what you're going to see is they're going to play him like they play Zach Ertz from Philadelphia. And I think on some special down and distances, maybe 3rd and 5 to plus that, maybe 3 and 7, that you'll see Byron Jones come over. Look for them to play some dime package stuff with the 6 defensive backs. I think that's something that, because they've got enough defensive backs now with Anthony Brown being back to be able to handle some dime package stuff today. But yeah, Byron Jones will get an opportunity.
Byron Jones is up to the challenge. He's
always,
some great tight ends.
Always.
Keep sending in those questions. #Dallas Cowboys pregame. Brian, we will get all of those answered.
Oh yeah, let's get them answered.
You guys can be featured on our show on TV today, so keep them coming in.
The Dallas Cowboys pregame show, live from the Star in Frisco, is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing.
All right, the big debate this week, Brian, of course, was who's starting and who is sitting. And it seems, though, with these inactives that Jason Garrett and the front office have agreed to play it safe a little bit.
Yeah, they have. You know, you look at these inactive and, you know, you see guys like Ezekiel Elliott on that list. You're going to see Tyron Smith on that list.
Oh, fans are happy, Brian.
Yeah, Zach Martin on that list, you know, of course. And then Tyron Crawford looks like he's recovering well from the scare that he had last week, so should be available for the playoff game next week. David Irving continues to be one. I wouldn't be surprised if that one turns into an IR situation and then maybe bring somebody else up off the practice squad. But the big one right there is Ezekiel Elliott. You know, been talking to people, Linz, that there was a lot of rotation among the backs in this practice, and there were some of the other positions that there weren't a lot of rotation going on. So they were getting ready. They're getting Rod Smith ready. They're getting Darius Jackson ready to play in this football.
I know fans are ready to see Darius Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's never got a down in a regular season game. Excited for the guy.
Yeah, I'm excited for him too, though. And this, you know, but the offensive line's a little bit compromised right now. And so now you didn't see yours thinking, okay, well, what are they going to do at quarterback? Well, I was told all week long that Dak Prescott took his normal amount of reps, and then Cooper Rush got his reps on Friday, and that's all they got. They weren't saying, hey, we're going to go with Cooper Rush all week and get him ready for the game and play that way. So look for Dak Prescott. Again, this offensive line, that means Cam Fleming playing the left tackle, Su'a-Filo at left guard, you know, and that means Connor Williams playing the right guard. So Dak Prescott, that's your quarterback out there with some backup guys going at it.
It's a dangerous situation.
It is a very dangerous.
Somebody's got to play.
Somebody's got to play. They've only got 46 of these spots. Yeah.
All right, let's check in with Taylor Stern, who has an update from MetLife.
Yeah, always a big shout out to Christy Scales because she gives us those great sideline views, and she has one of somebody who is going to play, Linz, Tavon Austin, who's been out since October 14th with the groin injury. He's excited. He is the hype man of this locker room. I'm sure if you follow him on Instagram, you already knew that. If you follow any of the receivers on Instagram, you knew that this guy was excited to be back on the field. He knows it's week 17. They're looking ahead to the playoffs, and he might just be a healthy scratch in that. But he's taking every opportunity that he can get. So I'm ready to see him play today.
Yeah, and Tabe, it's a great job on her part bringing up Tavon Austin because he's going to be a big part of this game plan. You know, talking to some folks, would not be surprised seeing the ball go down the field to him, would not be surprised of the things you see with the jet sweep. Would not be surprised with some screen passes to him. They're going to find ways to get him the football. And like the general manager, Jerry Jones, was talking about last week on his radio show, he's like, I want to see him play. I would like to see him get on tape so opponents have to prepare for him. Scott Linehan, I promise you, got the word from up high, and he will get Tavon Austin involved. Cole Beasley will still be your primary punt returner, but again, keep an eye on that number 10 today.
You are looking live out at MetLife Stadium. Looks pretty chilly, Brian. Tell me a little bit, though, about, we might get a little preview of what the Giants have, some of those weapons that you have in the coming years.
Yeah, that's the Saquon Barkley thing. And, that to me is really the big picture here for the Giants. And, they're going to go into a draft. If they lose this game, they probably have a top 5 pick. If they win this game, they'll probably be picking those somewhere in like 11 or 12. So, it's an important game, though, for a new coach. They started off poorly. In the middle of the season, they were able to right themselves. And then the last couple of weeks, they've lost 2 games to AFC South teams, and hopeful of them for being 8-8. But now it looks like they're just playing out this string, though. No coaching change here, but they've got some really nice young players, though. And again, Saquon Barkley is the guy that you need to focus on in this football game today, because I have a feeling, though, that they're going to try and get him going, test this Dallas defense, keep this Dallas offense off the field the best they can, and finish some drives that way. That way it also keeps the pass rush off Eli Manning, and that's something that they always worry about.
All right, well, you do know that Ezekiel Elliott this week said, in locker room, he said, I'm playing on Sunday, but obviously being held out today. But that's the mentality with these players. They all want to play. They want to keep up this playoff mentality, and Danny Sarek has more on what Jason Garrett is doing to keep these guys focused day by day.
Have clinched a playoff berth with one regular season game still remaining. Head coach Jason Garrett says the team is treating Sunday's game against the Giants like any other game this season, including who will start.
The biggest thing for us is to prepare the right way and go play, and that's what our approach is, and that's what we've talked to our team about. And a lot of people have said this is a meaningless game. It's a meaningful game to us. It's one of 16 that we play, and we want to finish the season out strong and get ready for the playoffs. So that's really where our attention is.
With a playoff spot already clinched, some coaches may choose to sit their starters for the last regular season of the game to keep them healthy and avoid injuries. However, head coach Jason Garrett does not plan to do that. He says the players that are healthy will play against the Giants. Running back Ezekiel Elliott agrees with Garrett's philosophy. Elliott says that despite the Cowboys already having a spot in the playoffs, he is preparing for this Giants game the way he has for every other regular season game this year. Elliott says he will do whatever it takes to get that win, even if it means having 40 touches.
The plan is to go out there and play, and we just got to approach this week like we've been approaching the same way we approached it the past upcoming weeks. We got to make sure that, we come out there and we have a lot of intensity. We got to be ready to build some momentum going into this wild card week.
Wide receiver Amari Cooper says his love for the game is enough reason for him to play Sunday. Cooper is not entertaining the idea of the possibility of an injury the week before playoffs.
You have a 99% chance at getting hurt anytime you go out there on the field. It's just a question of when are you going to get hurt. So if you going out there worried about getting hurt, that's usually when you go out there and get hurt, because you play kind of timid and you usually, I don't know, it's just something about going out there thinking you're going to get hurt.
For Cowboys Pregame Live, I'm Danny Sarek.
Brian, great question from #Dallas Cowboys Pregame. Jordan B. asks, is there a small chance that we see the Eagles in the first round of the playoffs? Fans are asking this.
No.
They don't want to see that scary NFC East opponent right away.
No, they don't. And there's really no chance of that, because you have Chicago really locked into the 3 seed, trying to get to the 2 seed. If that's the case, the Rams would fall down to the 3rd seed. So whoever the 6th seed is going to either play the Bears or the Rams. And so that would be the Eagles if they got into the 6th seed. So no chance in the first round.
But we are big Vikings fans today because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you try. Yeah, exactly.
The Bears and Vikings.
The Bears and Vikings, absolutely. There's some ways that you could play the Vikings. Mm-hmm. If you get a Viking victory and then a Seattle loss, then you would get them as the seed that you would get to play.
I mean, it's just all coming so quickly. We made it through week 17 here, but keep the questions coming. Hashtag Dallas Cowboys pregame. Brian is ready, bow tie ready. Join us.
Back into pregame live here at the Star. We are all warm in here. I'm sorry to all of our friends at DallasCowboys.com out on that field. We will check in with them in just a moment. But for now, let's focus back to playoffs, Brian. And I've heard you say it, and I've heard the debate all year long. Is the defense strong enough to carry the offense? Is the offense going to be able to get it done at all? I mean, this team was extremely young. They've come a long way, but is this all on the defense for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it is, because I think you are what you are offensively. And, you know, they've talked about things, the red zone problems, what needs to be done. It's just not one thing, guys. It's execution, it's play calling, it's players just going out and doing what they have to do, not missing assignments and all that. And I think that, you know, that's something that just kind of hangs with you. You know, I mean, you could say, oh, well, they can play this week 17 and everything will be all hunky-dory, and it really won't be. But defensively, this team has carried you all year. And the two times, though, you've had losses, the Indianapolis loss and the Tennessee loss, was because your defense didn't play well enough in those games. So that's kind of where you're at right now. I think this defense is going to have to carry you in the playoff lens.
You are looking live out there.
Yeah.
Of course, at warm-ups, there's Ezekiel Elliott bundled up, but you did just see Dak Prescott. And, Brian, the red zone woes that this team continues to face. Talking with you a couple weeks ago, I think you said it. This isn't something that can just be solved. You don't have the personnel to go dominate that way.
No, this is, you know, they've got to figure it. This is where you miss, you know, Jason Witten and James Hanna and guys like that, point of attack blockers. This is where you miss Zach Martin, or Travis Frederick, cutting the defense in half, getting to the second level. You know, this is where you miss maybe Keith Smith digging linebackers out on the goal line, you know. And then you talk about some of the accuracy issues. They don't have a Des Bryant down there with the 50-50 ball. So there's a lot of things that are factoring into this offense's problems in the red zone. And, you know, again, if you try and put your finger on one, well, what about the other 3 or 4 that you have to deal with as well?
All right, Taylor Stern, just a little sobering update for us on who is actually playing today.
Yeah, and got to give credit where credit's due. Dave Hellman makes a great point with this tweet. He says, the decision to sit Tyron completely is interesting from a personnel standpoint. If something happens to either Lyle or Cam Fleming, the Cowboys could be forced to play Connor Williams at tackle today, guys. So, yeah, he's talking about this musical chairs game that has been the offensive line this season. Good point, Dave, and we will see what happens. Knock on wood, that doesn't.
Just a choice you got to make.
Now there's your cover 4 guy going at it right there.
Shouts out to David Hellman.
Shouts out to David Hellman there. Yeah, you're right about that. And Tay, it's a good point that she made and Dave's made, is because, you know, Connor Williams really all week has been working at guard, and he's been working at right guard. But we have seen Connor Williams come in for Tyron Smith at left tackle before. He was a left tackle at the University of Texas, you know, and so he's comfortable doing that if he has to. He's a smart guy. He'll adjust. They'll do what they need to do. If that's the case, Redmond would come in and play guard for him, and then they would try and get out the game the best they could. So hopefully, as we always say, knock on wood, everybody gets up after every...
Knock on the bald head?
And knock on the wood, and then everybody gets up after every play. That's your hope right there.
All right, quick break here, but when we come back, we are going out to MetLife. Nick and Rob are standing by with an update from warm-ups. That's next.
Hashtag Dallas Cowboys pregame has the great questions coming through. We got this one from @TyGilbert8. He says, do we expect to see a heavier dose of Sean Lee, and how do we see that linebacker rotation going forward?
Yeah, I think, Ty, you will see Sean Lee play quite a bit today. And, you know, Sean Lee knows he needs to play. They're trying to get him ready for the playoffs. He needs to feel good about what he's doing. They need to test the hamstring. Cold conditions at the Met today, so that will be interesting to see how much he plays. But everybody's excited about having on the field. As far as the rotation goes, Van Der Esch, Smith, Sean Lee working in. Joe Thomas, keep an eye on Joe Thomas today. He's another guy you'll see a lot of play.
Yeah, Joe Thomas is a guy that you haven't heard quite the name of because Jalen and Leighton have kind of stolen the show there. But it is very exciting to see that Sean Lee is just a rotational guy now.
He's a rotational guy. I never thought I would say that, but that's kind of what he's becoming. He's accepted that role.
Good question, and keep him coming. # Dallas Cowboys pregame. We'll be right back.
Back here in studio, and before we go out to the field to check in with our pals from DallasCowboys.com, you brought up the offensive line, and Taylor had that tweet from David Hillman, and I think that's really interesting because Dak Prescott is starting today.
Yeah, he is, and the way they played the practice is he got a lot of the reps, so we don't know when Cooper Rush is going to come in this game. But also you look at, though, Cam Fleming having to go up against their, Olivier Vernon. That's that in itself, Tyron Smith in his day has had some problems. Olivier Vernon didn't play the last time these two teams met in week 2. So keep an eye on that left tackle spot, though. Dak Prescott can't be taking hits from his blind side.
How much will that New York defense, or just the Giants in general, I mean, they've got their vacations booked. Yeah. They're ready to head out. But like you said, their coach is trying to get them, somewhat of a positive note right now.
On Trash Bag Monday, you want a good feeling. And I call it Trash Bag Monday because that's when the players come in with the big green garbage sacks and take everything in their locker and then go home from there. So everybody wants to feel good about that. You've got a coach, Pat Shurmur, that wants to end on a good, positive note. So this Giant defense, though, yes, it's got Landon Collins playing back there, though. Ogletree not available today because of the concussion. That will help the Cowboys, though. But no Snacks Harrison. This middle of this defense is not as good as it once was, though. But watch B.J. Hill, though, the rookie from North Carolina State, though. He's going to be a guy that's going to slide inside and work against some of these guards, and we'll see if they can handle him. All
right. Nick Eatman and Rob Phillips are standing by with their players to watch. Hey, guys.
Thanks, Lindsay. Cold and windy, 35 degrees here at MetLife Stadium. Always unique conditions this time of year in the Meadowlands. And Nick, kind of unique circumstances for the Cowboys. Final regular season game. Figure out how they handle this rotation before the playoffs.
Yeah, all week long we were kind of wondering how this was going to be. A lot of fans were calling in on the show like, what's Jason doing? And we were like, let's just wait and see how the game plays out. Let's see who actually does play. He had his method of what he was doing, trying to get things, these guys prepared. And a lot of the guys do have to play, but like we've seen, Zeke's not going to be out there. Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, they are going to try to win this game. This is no different than like a preseason game, but they're going to try to win. But with the guys that are out there, and you just cross your fingers and hope these guys don't get hurt.
All right, the guys that are playing, give me a guy to watch. Who are you watching to try to get out of this game with a victory?
It's been a while since I've been able to talk about Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
Actually, Tavon playing. He's been out doing a lot of dancing before. He's going to keep himself warm by jumping around and be ready to go. They want to see what he can do, punt returning. Also, maybe some of those jet sweeps and stuff like that. I got to get him ready back in the flow for the game on Sunday. Whoever they're going to play next week, want to get him so he's not so rusty coming back into that game. What about you?
How about defensive end Randy Gregory, building off of last week's performance and really all season long? When you think about how much football he's missed, about 2 years, he's got 6 sacks this season. I walked it back 5 seasons. Only 2 guys have had more since 2014. DeMarcus Lawrence and David Irving had 7 a year ago. Pretty good for a guy that hadn't played all that much. And the more he plays, even a game like this, the more experience, the better he'll be.
He's already taken his first hit today. I was on bus 4 walking in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was about 6'4". That bus is about 6'3". Bumps his head. Everybody's like, you okay? You okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. So he's already got his first hit out of the way. We'll see what happens after that.
That's minor, though. He's not on the injury report. He's good to go.
No.
He's good to go. All right, that's the early word from MetLife Stadium. Back to the crew in a warm studio.
Yes, sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. Rob, great pick with Randy Gregory, though. What a year it's been for him.
Yeah, it's been a nice year, and he's going up against Nate Solder, who the high-priced offensive tackle for the Giants. And Soldar's been kind of a guy that's really struggled this year. So look for Randy Gregory, that first step off the ball. Big time.
Big stuff right there. It's going to be a huge day for Ezekiel Elliott, and he's not even playing. We'll tell you why after these messages.
Lindsay just told you we are going to get into Zeke talk, and that's what we're doing with this great question from Trevor. He asked, what would it take for the Cowboys to get this meaningless dub today with Zeke resting? So he's calling it meaningless, but he still wants the win. How does that happen with no Zeke?
Well, that's going to be the problem. And I think it's going to be, how long does Jason Garrett want to go with his starters? That's it. And when you see him start pulling guys, that's when you know right there, though, that he's kind of called off the dog. So I think it's going to be, the offensive line will be compromised. I kind of feel like, though, that we'll see what Prescott's going to do. You still got the full complement of wide receivers, but backup running backs. It'll be a little bit of a difficult task once he starts pulling guys.
The last time we saw a lot of these starters sit was week 17 of the 2016 season.
Yeah.
Zeke was one of those guys. He was chasing Eric Dickerson's record.
Right.
And he just wore that hoodie the whole time on the sidelines.
Right.
You know, he's rocking that over his pads. Looked pretty funny. I'm very curious to see what his look will be today.
Yeah.
You know, they've been rocking the sleeves. Maybe he'll have a good style. So keep the questions coming. Hashtag Dallas Cowboys pregame. We are rolling right through.
The Dallas Cowboys pregame show, live from the Star in Frisco, was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. SWBC Mortgage. Prepare to win. Call SWBC for all your insurance needs. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. Want to tour AT&T Stadium? For more information, call 817-892-TOUR or visit dallascowboys.com/tours.
Brian, unless Saquon Barkley has about 300 yards, I'm not good at math, it's a big day for Zeke.
Yep, you hope he doesn't have 300 yards, because if he does, the Giants are going to win this game. But yeah, Todd Gurley not playing. Barkley's close there, but I don't think he'll get him.
Huge day for Zeke. I mean, especially after last year, coming back with a vengeance. Congratulations
Absolutely.
to the king of rushing, Ezekiel Elliott. All right, guys, we're wrapping up here on television, but if you want to tune in for more pregame live, go to DallasCowboys.com or all your social media channels. We will catch you guys there and enjoy the game. All right, guys, we are back on DallasCowboys.com and all social media channels, Connected TV. Welcome to the guitar pick, Tay.
Here I am, ready for this great game that we have today.
Yeah, it's called Choose One. All right, here we go. Our great producer, Kate Garrison, picks these every week. New York style for you guys. Who is, oh wait, no, that's over under. That's over under. My bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. Choose One is just where we pick who's the MVP, obviously, of the regular season. Who are you guys going with?
Ezekiel Elliott. Guys, Amari Cooper, yes, he's made this great impact, and it was, week 9 when he joined this team. Zeke has been there since day one. He did it with, just kind of having the offensive line he did this year. Zeke.
I got to go with Zeke, too. And I wish, Brian, if it was a defensive choice for me, it would be the defense as a whole, maybe.
The Hot Boys?
The Hot Boys collectively, but one person, got to go Zeke.
I'll tell you what, though, that guy, that defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence, has been pretty darn good right there. And then you look at what this defense has done all year, though. His ability to rush the passer, play the run has been huge. I'll go with that. I'll go with the defensive player.
And he will be here next year. We're just claiming that.
We're claiming that right now.
Paying him,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I'm going to pay him, with all my money I have left from Christmas. If you had to extend one coach into next year, who would it be? Who would it
Mark
be?
Colombo.
Is this a savage choose one right now?
This is a savage, shady
You're
one.
choosing Colombo?
Yeah, I'm going Colombo.
I'm going to go Colombo Dose. with you.
Well, you know, it's funny. It says one coach to keep in the next season. I think they're going to keep Jason Garrett.
Of course.
You know, and but his contract is up after next year. I make him play on this. I really, really do. I make him try and figure out a way to handle that. You know, make him have to play this next season out. Don't extend him. In fact, they have a great year. Okay, you're going to have to pay him, Jerry Jones. That's part of the deal. But I wouldn't extend him right now if it was me.
All right. What's our next one, Linz?
It is New York style. I'm all over the place.
I one time explored New York with Kent Garrison, so I know he knows it well.
It's movies. You know Kent is a movie aficionado. So what are you guys choosing here? I got to go Home Alone because why not? It's Christmas.
I'm going to go Gangs of New York. I think that's a great film, focuses heavily on the city before it was, you know, the Big Apple. That's my movie here.
Yeah, Gangs of New York, though, that would be mine as well. Escape from New York was an interesting one, but I think I'm going to stay with the Gangs. Nah, the eye patch.
You like
all about the eye patch. Why not, you know?
All right, guys, what about food? I lived in New York for a while. I tried all of these things, but I'm going to have to go with cheesecake. Brian, I feel like we've talked about cheesecake before on a previous show, which is odd enough in itself. What are you guys picking?
I was telling you about the time that I explored with Kent. We walked probably 7 miles that day just to find pizza. We went down in one basement, kind of hole-in-the-wall place, New York style pizza all the way.
Give me the pastrami sandwich. That's what I'm all about.
Very much Brian.
I love the pastrami sandwich, so, you know, that's kind of where I would go.
All right, Tay, I'm going to let you go pull more questions from Twitter as Brian and I continue to just discuss, Brian, what is going on with, I guess, the team as far as staying focused and needing a rhythm, because talking to Amari Cooper this week in the locker room, he said, guys, I was injured in Oakland, then I had a bye in Oakland, and then I was traded here and had a bye here. I was out for 3 weeks.
Right.
I didn't lose a rhythm. We played 15 games.
Right.
So is it a player-to-player thing, kind of?
Yeah, it is a little bit of a player-to-player thing, but players, again, always want to play. You know, that's their mindset. They get to a point where they say, you know what, yeah, I'm supposed to play 17 weeks. This is the final game. I want to play. But, you know, then it's about the front office and about the coaching staff to say, okay, wait a minute. Let's get our team in the best condition that we can, shape-wise, health-wise, in order to have a chance in the playoffs. I said this on Talking Cowboys the other day. I promise you, when you get to the Super Bowl, it'll be the healthiest two teams playing in the tournament. And you'll also see players that are a little nicked up right now. They're going to get themselves healthy to get ready for the playoffs. Nobody wants to be an inactive guy during the playoffs. I mean, they're going to have to make some tough decisions on some guys, but it's good to see some guys like Tavon Austin and Sean Lee come back that can hopefully help you for the playoffs.
All right, Tay, hashtag Dallas Cowboys pregame. What do we got?
Yeah, moved right on over back here to get this great question about Tavon Austin, Brian, because fans are excited to see him in the game today. I think everyone's always been excited since the Cowboys traded for him in the draft. But this great question from David, a lot has been made on the red zone problems this season. Is there a chance Linehan does some tinkering with the play calling today and uses Tavon Austin as the web back, he puts in quotation marks?
Yeah, I think if you see him as a web back, it will be to throw him the football out of the backfield. I don't think Linehan will hand him the football other than the jet sweeps. But if you see Tavon Austin line up left or right of Dak Prescott or Cooper Rush in this game, get ready for the ball to go to the flat. And I want to say probably you're going to look at this maybe in that third down situation, maybe to create a mismatch where a linebacker has to take him coming out of the backfield and they try and take advantage of getting in the ball in the flat and letting him turn up the field. So if he uses a running back, it'll be in the passing game.
Another question, Tay?
Well, now we're on the defensive side of the ball because Walter, who always gives us great questions, he said, does this game make you nervous considering how many snaps top defenders will have to play? We talked about DeMarcus Lawrence a little bit earlier, but I think, you know, everyone wants that defense to stay strong through the championships because they say defense wins championships.
You know, I'm sitting here, Brian, hearing all these tweets. Are we nervous for the other 15 games? No.
Yeah.
We're not nervous every single game.
Right.
I get it. I mean, but it's kind of luck. You got good luck.
No, you do. The healthiest teams in the league are the luckiest teams.
Exactly.
Because,
everybody's hurt at this point.
Yeah, everybody's banged up some way, somehow. So, yeah, nervous. Yeah, you're always nervous. I said, I can't, as a former personnel man, you know, I can't go down to Lowe's or Home Depot or these places and go down the aisle and say, oh, look, I need an offensive tackle. Oh, I need a cornerback. Oh, I need a running back. You can't do those things. So, yeah, you hold your breath in games like this. You hold your breath in the preseason, and you hold your breath in this final game, especially when you're getting ready for the playoffs.
All right, guys, we love for you guys to join us on Pregame Live. We want to give you special gifts, so we always have Stephen Jones on every week. Let's go back out to MetLife and check in.
All right, guys, thank you. This is Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer, and thank you for joining us once again here. It's a little cold, but you seem bundled up. You're ready to go?
It's actually pretty nice out here. It's good football weather, and, of course, we're fired up. Going to be a great game to get better today and hopefully add on to what we've been doing and get a little momentum going into the playoffs.
Obviously, key players, Zach Martin, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyron Smith, not playing in this game. Just this is one of those things. Just got to be smart with the guys you've got, especially the ones that are a little banged up.
Well, they all three have, injuries that, they're just tough guys that can play through those things at times. But it's a smart thing to do with these three guys, and certainly with what they have going on. And this will give them a week to really rest those injuries and hopefully make them even better when we start the playoffs next week.
Stephen, with the guys who are playing today, maybe a player or two that you are keeping an eye on today, evaluating. I know Tavon Austin's a guy you've been looking forward to getting back for several weeks now.
Well, there's a lot of guys who are looking forward to getting some action today and want to get it before the playoffs. Tavon being one of those guys, hopefully get him 10 to 12 plays. And then, of course, Sean Lee's wanting to get back in the mix, and he's trying to get him a couple dozen plays, and hopefully we can get that done for him so he feels good about himself going into the playoffs. So, other than those four guys, we're coming out here to win this football game and get momentum.
Yeah, you said momentum. 10 wins also would be really nice as well. It doesn't matter, I guess, once you get into the playoffs, but still, down the road, it definitely looks good to have a 10-6 record as opposed to 9-7.
Well, winning 10 games in the NFL is a big deal. The old guy Tex Ram used to say they pay their guys too on the other side, and certainly winning an NFC East championship's huge, but 10 wins would be great.
Are you looking at the scoreboard watching today? I mean, obviously, I know you're going to tell me it doesn't matter who you play, but I mean, obviously from a matchup standpoint, it's going to be interesting to see if it's Seattle or Minnesota.
Well, it will be. I mean, you always pay attention to who you're going to play, but looks like we're pretty much dialed into Seattle, but we'll see.
All right. Well, you heard it there. He's already got Seattle coming here. So that's Stephen Jones. We're going to throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much. You guys look warm out there. Saquon Barkley, he is going to be a foe for NFC East teams for years to come. Tay and Brian in the film room breaking it down. What do you got, guys?
We are in the film room, week 17, wrapping this regular season thing up, Brian, and we're looking at the New York Giants, a familiar face for the Cowboys, but this rookie, Saquon Barkley, is someone you can never get quite prepared for.
No, you're right about that, Tay, and if the Giants are going to win today, it's going to be because of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what's his deadliest trait, Brian?
Well, Tay, what he's really good at, and this is going to be a problem for the Cowboys this week, is when I run this play for you forward, he likes to probe along the line and then bounce the ball to the outside, which puts a lot of pressure on your safeties and your corners to have to come up and make the tackle.
Absolutely. Let's see this one.
Yep, I'll show you it right here. As you see, Eli Manning hands off. There's the snap. Now, look at that right there. See? That's what I'm talking about right there, Tay. That's what I'm talking about here. Hand him the ball. He bounces to the outside. Look at that. That quick move that he's able to make. And look at all the space that he generates on the outside. Vision, quickness, all that right there. Burst, finish the run. This is going to be the big problem for the Cowboys today. It really, really is, because I feel like that they're going to try and load him up.
Scary. Well, hopefully we can handle it still. Week 17, we have this thing next week, so we'll have another film room.
Absolutely.
We don't know who exactly that'll be yet, but join us then.
Yeah, and Brian does film room every single week on DallasCowboys.com. Great inside stuff for you there. But talking about Saquon Barkley and Eli Manning, will he be there next year? Will he be there in years to come? Danny Surek has more.
Giants quarterback Eli Manning has spent the last 15 years as a Cowboys division rival. Despite New York's losing season, Manning is still performing as a top 10 quarterback with just under 4,000 passing yards this season. Head coach Jason Garrett describes Manning as elite.
He's been a great competitor to go against twice a year for a lot of years now, and I just hold him in the highest regard. Tough, competes, like I said, a leader, Has played so well throughout his career in critical games and big games for them, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and just a first-class guy on and off the field.
Rookie running back Saquon Barkley has brought the Giants' run game to life. Barkley is third in the league with rushing yards just more than 200 shy of Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott, who leads the league. Barkley is a dominating force and has had 6 games where he has rushed for more than 100 yards. Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith says it's no wonder why Barkley was the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft.
He's a phenomenal player. You see it week in and week out, and you have to play great defense whenever you're going against elite running backs.
Dallas held Barkley to just 28 rushing yards in week 2. Defensive coordinator Rod Marinelli says in order to stop Barkley again, it will take all 11 players.
Well, the one thing we have to bring to the table every week is our pursuit. Because we had some guys missing, okay, but it was the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th guy that keep those runs from being long runs. That's the key for us in space. Guy can cut back in space, make you miss. You've seen him. You got to assume this guy's going to miss. You can't ever believe that one guy's got him and slow down.
He's a great player, so there's going to be plays that he makes. But that's the beauty of this league. Everyone on each and every team can achieve greatness. We have to play great team defense, and we live up to those challenges. We're looking forward to it.
For Cowboys Pregame Live, I'm Danny Surratt.
Thank you very much, Danny. Let's play a little over-under. 14 points for the Dallas Cowboys offense today. I'm going over because I picked a win, so I'm willing this to happen.
What was your score that you thought?
I don't pick scores. I just pick wins and losses, but maybe I should pick scores because I picked 10-6 going into this season, and I really want that. So over 14 points.
I'm there for you, but I think I'm going to go under on this one.
You're probably right, Taylor.
Because I think it's going to be a Brett Maher day. I think that they're going to have, the red zone issue still. I don't think that helps when you have the offensive line that will be playing today. I'm going to go under.
I'm going over because I picked 21-17, but I picked a Giants victory. So I'm going to go with the over.
All right. What about that defensive line, the Cowboys defensive line? 2 sacks of Eli Manning. Over or under?
Push that one because I'm thinking it's going to be just 2. The fact of the matter is that yes, you have Tank in there, but 2 seems just about right. Eli Manning will let you sack him once in a while, but he will give you even more picks. So that's what I want.
Yeah, I don't know where I fall on this because Eli is so hot and cold.
Sure.
Brian, help me out. What are we feeling here?
I'm going over. No, I'm going over. I'm going
wild.
Yeah, I think it's going to be over because Eli Manning, if he feels just a little bit of pressure, he'll collapse. He'll just fall down in the pocket. So I'm going over here.
Okay, what about? It's going to be a dirty game. It's going to be cold. We thinking 3 field goals for Brett Money Maher? Over. More or less?
More. You just said it. More for Maher. That's going to be my slogan today. Yes, let him go out there, get crazy. Money Maher. You can have 4 field goals. You can have 6. We don't really care.
As long as it's over 14 points, he can have as many as he wants. Why not over?
Hey, he was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Can you show us more?
You are not wrong.
He's going to have 1. I'm telling you, it's 17 points, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal.
We're all sticking to our Week 17
exactly,
here.
Exactly.
We're out of time, guys. It's been a great regular season.
Yeah, it has
really
been fun.
It's been really fun. Yeah. High fives all around. Up top, Brian. We will see you guys for a halftime update, of course, and right here for postgame. Enjoy the game, guys, and we'll be back to talk playoffs and have that picture for you after the game.